to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call a regular city council meeting order, 7 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Jones? Here. Alderman Amundson?
Here.
Alderman Greiner? Here. Alderman Newhouse?
Here.
Alderman Babb?
Here.
Alderman Newman?
Here. Also present, Clerk Spiegel, Treasurer Warrant, Street Superintendent Smith, Police Chief Merritt, Fire Chief Hermaninsky, Deputy Clerk Fogel, Building Inspector Dearborn, and Attorney. One of these days I'll get it spot on and you'll be surprised. I don't have anything at this time.
Just for everybody to be aware, we awarded both trucks to the highest bidder. We had one bidder that had both of the highest bids. However, he declined on 318, which defaulted it to Mr. Glenn Ogle, who did put a bid in on 318, so that truck did go to.
What did it go for?
Honestly, I don't have the amount. It was whatever he bid. It was
15 something.
1530.
50, okay, yeah. He was the next highest bidder, so, Mr., I called him Mr. Doug because I cannot pronounce his last name, declined on that one.
Okay. Mr. Treasurer.
No report.
Mr. Attorney.
A few meetings ago, there was a concern about the city's self-insured status for unemployment, and I was asked to look into whether that's something we can elect to change to a regular contribution model, because there was a concern that former employees were taking benefits even though they had obtained other employment. I sent a memo providing legal advice to the council on this, but in summary, the city can elect to change from the reimbursement model you're currently on to a contribution model. You have to make the election before the beginning of the next calendar year, and that's when it would apply to any claims that accrue after January 1st. If you had any lingering claims, it would still be on reimbursement. I'd caution you in doing that. The unemployment statute is designed to pay employees, and as a consequence, unemployment claims are paid based on the former employee's representation that they do or don't have work. IDES doesn't go out and send private investigators or anything like that. So there is a risk if they lie in their reporting to the state's going to pay those benefits, and then you're obligated to reimburse the state for what's been paid. You can make claims to get that money back. Our advice also addressed the process for that. There are two ways you can do it. The first requires that you protest a notice of claim paid. You have to do that within 20 days. Typically, we doubt you're gonna have the information that the employee had the other job, so you're also able to file if you believe a claim has fraudulently been made. So if you find out after the fact that an employee was claiming not to have employment but truly had another job the very next day, you would want to file a fraudulent claim. Putting all of that aside, the reason I'd be cautious about going to a contribution model is because as a self-insured reimburser, you only pay unemployment for the amounts of unemployment the state has actually paid. In other words, you're only paying the cost of the unemployment benefit. If you were to transition to a contribution model, which is what private employers have, you pay a regular unemployment fee regardless of whether or not any claims are made. So my understanding of the city's turnover is that it's modest, that you don't have a lot of employees out all the time. If you did, maybe a contribution model would make sense. But as it stands, yes, there's the concern, maybe on occasion you've overpaid because someone misrepresented their claim, or because they got another job and didn't report it to the state. I don't know that the potential savings offsets your regular consistent obligation to pay for unemployment insurance. Not to mention, the way they calculate the contribution model, there's the risk amount, which you will pay, and then if you have an unemployment claim, they amortize that claim into your unemployment insurance rate so that you pay it back over 3 years. So you're paying for the privilege of paying more, in my opinion. So while it's frustrating, unless there's some surprises in the numbers here, guys, I think the self-insured route is probably the more economically appropriate for this city. So my memo goes into it, please look into it. I only sent it an hour before the meeting or so, so if you haven't seen it yet, that's why. Take a look at it. If you have other questions, pass them along and we'll make sure they get answered.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Mr. Inspector.
Let me see if I can catch you up on something that's going on here, and it's been rather complicated. Jason Mangold here.
Jason Mangold, by the way.
He owns a property at 307 Rogers Road. And he owns 3 lots. There's the lot his house is on, there's a separate lot next to him, and a third lot. And they're not annexed, they're 3 separate lots. He wanted to put a fence 20 feet from the road instead of 25 on the second lot. And then he was going to, that would determine that there was a front yard and a backyard by putting a fence there, and then he wanted to put a pool on that lot. The zoning board met, and the zoning board came to no decision. There was no vote, no nothing made, because they didn't have enough information. If he was to put the pool on that other lot, it would have to be 10 feet from the property line, and we didn't know where the property line was. So they couldn't, they wouldn't make a decision on the fence, because the pool and the fence are related. If he builds a fence, the building the fence is so he can put a pool there. If he can't build the fence, then he doesn't want to put the pool there. And if I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah, correct.
Now, here's where we are. That lot is an empty lot, not annexed. That means that, according to the city code, that lot has to be used for what it was designed for, which is residential, which means there has to be a house on there before he would build another building. Doesn't have anything to do with the pool, I'm just telling you that. But the ordinance, I said, is designated for use to put a building on there. You can put a church, you can put, there's several things in the ordinance. Just a second, I got it here. What a lot was designed for. And it says, no building shall be erected, converted, enlarged, reconstructed, so on and so forth, or used for any purpose permitted, except for the purpose permitted in that district, which is residential. Now, this is the way I'm understanding the code. So that is a residential lot, therefore there has to be a residential building on it. And the use regulations, general building or premises shall be only used for the following purposes: churches, libraries, schools, single-family dwellings, accessory buildings. So I've already told him, I don't think he can put a pool on that empty lot. It's not designed for that, it's designed as a residential lot. That's the way I interpret the code, and the code seems to be very specific. But that's where you are, and I just told Jason tonight, I don't think he can put a lot there. He could put a fence there, but he can't put a pool behind it, because the lot is not designed for a pool, it's designed as a residential lot. So what I've told him is I don't think he can put a pool there no matter what. And if you were to annex it, then it becomes a side lot, and he can't put a pool on a side lot. The only way he can proceed that I know is to get another variance, which the zoning board is going to deny, I am positive, and it would come to you eventually. Is that as clear as mud?
Yes.
Very clear.
So I just wanted to catch you up on where we are. It's, right now, it's kind of in Jason's hands whether he wants to apply for a variance, knowing that he's already been, the zoning board is already, they're against the fence, although I don't know why. But I thought he could put a pool there because it would be a backyard, and then I found the ordinance says you can only use that for its intended use, which is a residential lot.
So the council's aware that property does not have a backyard. We developed and built that home in 2004, 2005. We had to apply for a variance when that home was built because it sits
5 feet closer to the road than what our building code currently allows, because there is no room for a backyard. There's a ravine directly behind the house. There is a fence to the rear of that property that runs up until the third lot.
Yeah.
That runs across the back of the property in the ravine. Whatever's still standing of it after trees have fallen over the last 20 years. But there is a fence on the back of that. But just so everybody knows, the lots on that side of the road are very shallow. The lot goes 165 feet. The buildable space of them lots is approximately 68 to 70 feet, depending on the curve of the road.
Is it a big above ground pool?
No, in-ground pool.
Okay. So it's a permanent structure,
It's what?
a permanent structure if it's
Oh,
in
yeah,
ground.
oh, yes.
To speak on
Hmm?
this, we came to that conclusion of no decision based on we didn't have enough information. There wasn't enough in the drawing we were provided to establish what variances would need to be in place.
Okay.
And was that just without the plot line itself?
Yes, pretty, basically, yes.
And I came up today to look for the plots to help with that, and we couldn't find them.
I could probably show you where they're at.
I
Do you know where they are? We
found,
forgot.
I went home,
We looked that up and, you know.
I went
we
home
looked
and
it up.
found them.
Okay.
I've got the exact dimensions of the lots, how wide they are and how long they are. The only problem with that was, the zoning board was interested in that because the pool would have to be 10 feet from the lot line. And we didn't know if it went over the lot line into this third lot or not. So that's why, that's another reason they didn't make any decision, was where the lot lines, we didn't know. Well, but that's beside the point now, because if I read the ordinance right, you can't put a pool there. Can't put a pool in an empty lot.
Okay.
When it's a lot that's adjacent to his home property, I would think that there would be some allotment in there with it being his properties that are surrounding his home. That the possible.
But if you go that way, then it becomes a side lot and you
Right.
cannot put a pool in the side lot.
But again, you'd have the opportunity, I would think, to file for a variance
You
on
could
that.
file for variance. That's
To
the only-
allow that to happen.
That's where we are right now. If Jason wants to pursue it, he'd have to apply for a variance. And by the way, the zoning board also said they're gonna refund his money for the variance because they made no decision. Now, I don't know if they can do that or not, but they said, let's refund his money for the variance. And then if he needs to have another variance, we'll just,
Can he not bring clarification to the zoning board for the questions that they had regarding the first variance and maybe get a definition? Or a
I don't know the bylaws of the,
You can invite the, person that's applying for a variance, you can invite them to that meeting.
it was my understanding it was.
Yeah, and I was, and I was informed on the phone, it was on a Wednesday, it was actually on a Tuesday, when I looked at the paper, my fault. 'Cause
Oh,
it was actually sent
sure.
to me, so I'll own that one. Did they take any final action?
There was no decision.
So is there anything that, I am unaware of anything that prevents you from filing an amended request for variance for further consideration that addresses those pending questions they have and asking them to reconsider it at their next meeting. So if you have additional information you think can further illuminate their decision-making, that is one option, rather than going through the process of reimbursing or repaying $20 just for you to go through the same application.
I don't know how that works though, with it having to be posted, that it's a public meeting.
It would be reposted.
Just
Okay.
It would
just
be
a new meeting.
reposted.
And-
Yeah, it's
and
just another meeting.
The thing is,
to
that most all of those properties down there are encompassing 2 lots.
What's
That
interesting,
they're built, that the residence is built on is 2 lots, 2 to 3.
the residence that we're in now is 2 lots.
Is actually built on 2 lots, and then he has the 2 lots that are alongside that as well.
But are they annexed together? Are they
No.
one tax bill?
no, they're separate.
So there's houses on multiple lots with
All
2
of
tax
them. Yes.
bills?
All of them.
Yeah.
Two
No,
tax
that's-
bills
no,
for each
the
house?
house is on one tax bill.
Okay.
The
that's-
house
There's
one
2
tax bill.
separate bills for the 2 lots to
But
the north.
the structure itself is built over 2 lots, they brought it into one.
they're all adjacent, right?
Correct.
So why haven't they been combined into one PIN now that they have joined ownership? That's what weirds me out.
Because it's
Yeah.
cheaper paying property taxes on an undeveloped lot, then it would be annexed into your property of.
Unless you want a pool.
But you can't do it anyway.
If it's a side lot.
That's something I think that you could possibly go to the zoning board to
You
get a
could get a
variance
That would
for.
be that would be the variance you'd ask for, would be to have a pool on a side lot.
Right.
Because it would have been possibly annexed into.
And you need the
Pond
variance to have
property.
the fence closer to the road than 25 feet.
So, it sounds like my suggestion would be to, have another hearing and Chris inform him and, cause you're on the zoning board, correct?
Yes, but I'm not the chair of it.
Okay.
That would be,
If I were you, I'd resubmit the request with the additional information and ask that they reconsider your request.
Now, I've got a question then. On the second request, is he asking for two variances, one for a fence and one for a pool on the side? It's not a side yard.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, it would be by annex, it'd be a side yard.
it'd be a pool on an undeveloped lot.
Yeah, it'd be two variances, one for a fence and one for a pool on an undeveloped
Correct.
lot. Is that one variance or two?
No, that's two.
And
But-
potentially lot line, being within 10 feet of the lot line potentially.
That's not gonna be a problem. The lot that you want to put the pool on is 61 feet wide.
Over here?
So if he was 10 feet from either way, he could have a pool 41 feet, and he doesn't want one that big.
I was just looking at how it was drawn, it's so close to the house, there's no way it can't be 10 feet from that line.
No, we'd have to, the
It'd
drawing
have to
would
be
have to be
built.
submitted that's more accurate than the first one,
Yeah.
so that we had all the dimensions correct. But the lot would support a pool.
How deep is that lot?
What?
How deep is it?
How deep? It's 130 foot deep, but after like 60,
But,
60.
construction room,
That's
how
what-
much?
60. 65 at
I'd
the
say,
front,
yeah,
probably
60, 65
75 to the rear of the buildable section, and it's between 60 and 70 feet deep that's usable before the ravine.
Before it falls on.
So if you
Because
build a house, you
there was
wouldn't
a
have a backyard.
22-foot wall put in behind
And you'd
the
have to
two
build on both
houses.
lots to have enough space to build a house, unless you're gonna do a tiny home.
If you're gonna build a house on that lot, you'd probably have to do what they did the first time. They'd have to get a variance to bring the house closer to the road, because that house actually has a 13-foot setback.
Right.
Is all. And normally in Marquette Heights, it's 25.
Right.
And there's a 22-foot wall, 10 feet, 15 feet behind the 20-foot rear basement wall. Partway down the hill.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you all.
Dana.
All clear?
It's clear enough. I will resubmit, so I
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Communications.
I have none.
Any citizens wishing to address the council? Yes. Yeah, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Brittany Riccaldone. It's Ricaldone, and I reside at 802 LaSalle Boulevard. I would like to talk about the state of the parks today. Over the past couple weeks, I've visited with my children, and we go quite regularly because I have a 5 and an 8-year-old, so they need to get out of my house, you know. But especially the one down Sangamon and LaSalle, the main Marquette Heights Park, there are overgrown weeds to the point where you cannot see the mulch underneath the playground. There is a 3-foot tall, at least, maple tree underneath the structure of the park itself. My kids now have said, you know, I don't want to play here, I want to go home, because there's mosquitoes and bugs that come with the weeds that are, you know, underneath that. I think it's just embarrassing if someone were to rent out that structure for a party and it's in the state that it's in now. They're gonna say, wow, this is nasty, I'm not gonna come back here because no one maintains this. And if I have to maintain my yard under a certain ordinance, I would expect that the city can maintain their property and make it look nice, like I make my yard look nice. That's all I have.
Brittany, would you spell your last name again for me?
RICALDONE.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other citizens wishing to address the council? Reports of standing committees, water and sewer.
I have nothing. You
I don't have anything. Everything's going good right now.
Everything's working.
Okay. Law enforcement.
Chief, you got anything?
The garage doors are on the squad garage. The gutters were installed today. I'm gonna talk with electrician tomorrow to see if where possible we could look at drawing to get some power in there. Not really anything in the near future, but just get an idea where we'd have to start getting an idea where we'd come from. If it would come from like the fuel pump area, where the fuel area is there, the siren, or if we'd have to look at getting it from another location. So, and then once that's figured out, then we'll see what kind of cost it would be to get something there.
Sure.
So, that's about all I got.
Fire.
Chris?
313 will be going in Saturday morning for just some scheduled maintenance. Had transmission fluid changed and the filters changed. We had the coat come up for the transmission, so that'll be going in Saturday to CIT. This Saturday at 10 a.m. we're also wanting to do that cleanup of Independence Park playground.
Okay.
Is the city going to be able to get us mulch for that?
Mulch is at Spook Hollow.
Okay.
How many buckets you need?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Probably at least. What do you think?
Probably 4.
Probably more than that. Probably,
I'd
I'd
think
say
probably
somewhere
close to
around
10.
6
Yeah.
at least.
Then let's
Yeah.
take out some.
But yeah, we're gonna pull the weeds and spread some mulch and
You know, remove any of the old stuff, the dirt. That's,
Depends on what you come across.
yeah, it'll depend what we come across.
Okay.
And I didn't realize Marquette Park was that bad. I don't ever go down there, so well, we might plan another one.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
That's all I got.
We'll get some mulch down there. Streets.
The street department's currently working on patching the roads around town. Tim has a call into ICCI to have them look at collapsed storm drain on Lincoln. Tim's also working on getting the boulder sign repaired at the entrance of the city. I'd like to see something done to the lights at Independence Park, because several aren't working. And lastly, is there some way the city could make more time to do the tree work, like devoting a whole day or two to trimming and pruning the city trees?
Well, right now with weather, I know they were up there, Independence Park today, weren't they? Up by the dog park.
Yep.
Tripped quite a few.
1, 2.
Huh?
2.
Well, more than none.
I think it was 3, Bob.
Okay.
And they started on the road today too, the bridge.
Yeah, they
With
put
the
the signs
stoplights.
up, they unloaded a high load today.
Yeah,
They haven't started yet, but
right, but they got the signals.
equipment's on its way.
Good. Okay.
What was the comment on the sign? I don't know.
He's got a call in, so get that going, get that repaired, replaced.
Well, I'd be on insurance.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I have to call the guy and talk to him. I went and got measurements today, how the size of the pillars and the sign, how thick it was, how long it was, how wide it was. And,
They don't have any records of that one that was made?
the guy that did ours 10 years ago no longer has that franchise. So I called Brad, can't remember his last name, but he is drawing up, get together a quote right now. Because I sent him pictures and information
We should have a PDF file of the Tree City logo and what was the other logo that was on it? Because they were logos.
Tree
Men's Club.
City.
Tree City Men's Club.
No, Men's
No,
Club was the black
it
on
was
the
the
side.
city.
Yeah, the side.
There was.
It was the city.
There's the
City
city
logo,
emblem,
okay.
yeah, the
So,
city emblem.
we should have PDFs of them that we sent to them last time.
You don't think we could reuse some?
Depends if they can build the form to accept them. It's,
Yeah. What I got on my phone. Welcome to Marquette Heights, Tree City, and our logo, city logo, and established in 1948.
Yep. If you need those PDFs, I have them.
I need them,
I'll send them to you.
okay. Cause he asked about them.
How would the council feel about putting a electronic sign in the middle and put rock around the outside of it? Instead of just a big.
kind of like Creve Coeurs
Yeah,
display sign at their little veteran memorial where the flags are.
yeah, that way we don't have to use the old portable sign that you drag down there every.
And that would be back on our part versus IDOT's, because this side of the drain is us, just the other side is IDOT.
Something to think about, talk about.
Could be an option.
Mhm.
And nothing says that we have to use the insurance money to put like for like back, right?
Correct.
We can put something else in place of it that serves the same purpose.
Or a more current purpose than what we had
Right.
10 years ago when the original sign, or well, when the replacement sign went in.
In other words, more up to date.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have power to that location now too,
Yeah.
right? That we didn't have.
A decade ago.
Start looking and, come up with pricing on it.
Measuring and how big you want it and all that stuff.
You just call down to Creve Coeur and talk to them about where they got theirs.
Yeah.
Where's that sign at? I'll go look at it.
Right there at the
The
top of
light,
the hill.
way
To
up,
the right-hand
before you
side
get down
of
the
the
hill,
light.
Yeah,
on the right-hand side.
okay.
Yeah.
Where they have the flagpoles?
JB
Yeah.
Hawks, the Veterans
Yeah,
Memorial.
there you go.
Yeah,
Okay,
right there pulling JB Hawks. Pulling JB Hawks line, parking lot's right there.
Okay.
Where they do their Christmas tree.
okay.
You can't miss it.
Can you tell I don't go to Creek Road?
Okay.
Good.
Anything for parks and buildings? Yeah?
The air conditioner's working good in the rec association.
Okay.
So, and the trees were trimmed over Diamond 5 today, so,
We're gonna just continue as weather permits.
yep.
Can you let whoever's been doing bathroom rounds know they're doing a good job?
Lloyd,
So can you pass that along?
Sure will.
The best they have, at least a couple years. Thanks.
yep, I'll let him know.
I had a question for you, Tim. I meant to email you and I forgot. I didn't hear the tornado siren go off on the first
Oh, I did.
Tuesday.
I did.
Did it?
Yeah.
I heard the fire siren
It
go off, but
did.
I didn't hear the tornado one go off. Okay,
Yep.
that's what I
I
wanted to
happened to
check.
be up here when it went off.
Okay.
So you really
They
heard
were,
it.
My
Yeah.
dogs
When was
didn't
that?
howl like
they were
they.
installing the garage doors, so the people did the
First
garage
Tuesday of the
doors.
month.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, they definitely heard it.
My dogs didn't
Testing it.
howl like they normally do,
Yeah.
and I had all the windows open.
depends on what the wind blows.
All right, I just thought I'd check.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just my ears.
Lanny, I sent a copy about the ARPA grant, possible expenditures. You got any additions, changes? Just my ideas.
Is the fire equipment, I see two different numbers here.
Yeah.
Are those for two different projects?
No, it's 30K.
Oh, okay.
That's it, just cross the 13 out.
Okay.
The blocks.
Blocks down the bottom of the hill for those
That's
parking
what I-
areas.
That's what I assumed you were talking about.
And then the air compressor and mower for Tim?
Huh?
The air compressor that you wanted for the street deck? That's
Okay.
on the list.
The mower we can take off.
Okay.
What's wrong with the air compressor?
Old.
Old.
Okay.
It still works, but I'd like to have,
What's water
I
foundation?
was just gonna ask.
The water fountain out here in the hallway.
Oh, fountain.
How they spell it?
Foundation.
Foundation, yeah, it was middle of the night. It was 11, no, it wasn't.
That was 11 a.m.
AM. Oh, well,
It was early in the morning.
early in the morning,
It was almost nap
it
time.
was.
So you're saying you wanna use 3,000
Yeah.
for the water
That
fountain
was the
too?
bid that somebody got, yeah.
Oh, so even though we have the budget line for 13,
13 was, 8 was for the break room, and 3 was for the water fountain.
oh, okay.
Oh,
That was not how it was presented to me, so
Oh, that's why.
I'm perfectly happy to see it be 3,000 as
Yes.
Oh,
opposed to
absolutely.
15,000,
Okay.
so.
That's the way, that's the way it was given to me.
I just found out that, the library
Yes.
is supplying water for people that want to have a drink while they're in the library. We need to push and try to get those fountains straightened out so that
Yeah, we gotta put a bottle filler and all that stuff in
Yeah,
there,
that's the
That's
specialty
what
one.
that is.
I think we need to get an updated quote
Yep.
on it.
Okay.
Are we gonna do
Um,
just a single one or a dual?
You know, I wasn't involved with the first estimate, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the original estimate we got was for a dual, it was like for like the sipping and for the bottle.
Okay.
That was the original quote.
But was it two of them or just one single?
Just one,
Okay.
it was one,
Units.
yeah, one unit that had both pieces.
I can reach out to,
the,
Mrs. Lindsay, superintendent of the school, because they just purchased a bunch of them. So,
Good deal.
and find out where they got them and
Okay.
and, when or how do you expect the finish of the restrooms? Get
Finish
the
the
trim and things done in them, they're not done.
Where they at? That's not
In our
problem.
in the bathrooms up here, and we got so far and then quit.
Okay.
The men's bathroom doesn't have a mirror. I
Right.
don't know where it's at now. And trim.
can we get a list of what those restrooms need?
Yeah.
Okay.
The number 6 there is left over, whatever we come up with.
Well, maybe that needs to go towards finishing the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so just extra
Yeah.
play. Okay, we'll go with that then.
Thank you, Ron. Anything else?
I got a phone call from a developer. He's in contact with Cuppies, you know Cuppies out here at 98?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're talking to Beacon, and they wanna purchase the land next to Beacon. So they're talking. He asked me if we would be interested in a TIF. I said, possibly. So they're negotiating to see if it comes through. If it comes through, then we can move on.
Yes.
Before you move on to that discussion, should we figure out the water
Yes,
situation down there
that's a problem.
first?
That's a problem.
Yes.
That's an issue. Yep.
That's,
That'd be part of the infrastructure upgrade.
Well, if we do a tip, we could do an infrastructure and we could get water supply.
Exactly.
To that property under that tip,
Correct. That's right.
or within funds.
Yeah, we got
Exactly
you,
what
we
it's
got you in mind.
I just didn't want it to get
I
forgot
know.
about.
First question I asked.
It's the first person I looked at.
Ron and I talked about that. That was one of the things
Yeah.
that we brought up.
So anyway,
So,
that's
yeah,
the good news for today.
hopefully,
Hopefully it'll come through. They won't ask $1 million for it. It'll happen. They want land they can demonstrate their vehicles and ride around and that kind of stuff.
we're running out of room where they're at.
Yeah,
Which property's down there?
next to Beacon.
Yeah.
Half of it's unused or.
About almost 4 acres that they're not.
And this land next to that,
Next is,
this woods, that's a
Right.
lot. They could
Between
buy that
Next-
lot and.
Next to their shingles, Bob, on the other side of their shingles.
Right.
that they're not gonna use.
It's nice to see
Right.
their son go up
That's what
this
you're
last
talking about,
week.
property.
Yes, that's correct.
Ho-
The other half of
hopefully-
the Ford property.
Hopefully the
Okay.
negotiations between those two
Work out.
things go good, because.
Anyway, they're talking. We'll see.
Hopefully it's good talk.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Nothing on old business. Moving on to the consent agenda. Any items wishing to be removed from the consent agenda?
Numbers 4 and 6, please.
4 and 6. Okay. Any other items wishing to be removed from the consent agenda? Not, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus items number 4 and 6.
So,
Second.
Questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Bab?
Aye.
Alderman Newman?
Aye.
Alderman Amundson?
Aye.
Alderman Jobst?
Aye.
Alderman Greiner?
Aye.
Alderman Newhouse?
Aye.
Okay. Items removed from consent agenda. Item number 4.
I make a motion to approve April 29th, 2024 executive special council meeting minutes.
There a second?
Second.
Questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Greiner?
Abstain?
Alderman Bab?
Aye.
Alderman Newhouse?
Aye.
Alderman Amundson?
Aye.
Alderman Newman?
Aye.
Alderman Jobst?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. Item number 6 from the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve May 6th, 2024 committee meeting minutes.
Oh, shoot. I did the wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it. That was my bad. I should have
Questions?
abstained on 5. That's fine.
Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Amundson?
Aye.
Alderman Newman?
Aye.
Alderman Jobst?
Aye.
Alderman Greiner?
Aye.
Alderman Newhouse?
Aye.
Alderman Bab?
Aye.
That's been my whole day. Sorry about that. I meant to do 5. It's my brain.
It's been my whole week. Okay. Don't have anything on new business? No. Any citizens wishing to address the council?
Thank you.
No? Okay. Any other business pertaining to the city?
I make a motion to enter executive session to discuss possible litigation.
Okay.
And personnel.
I need a personnel too.
It's your motion. Do you accept that friendly amendment?
Yes.
So the motion is to enter executive session to discuss possible or threatened litigation as well as items regarding specific personnel.
Correct.
You got it.
Ron, are you gonna second that, or you want?
I'll second.
Got first and a second.
I wanted to give you first option, second.
Clerk?
Alderman Newman?
Aye.
Alderman Newhouse?
Aye.
Alderman Bab?
Aye.
Alderman Jobst?
Aye.
Alderman Amundson?
Aye.
Alderman Greiner?
Aye.
Motion passed.